The next day, Anya apologizes profusely for punching him, stating that she only did it in self-defense as he was bullying her, and her friend Loid assures her that it's okay as long as she properly apologizes to Desmond. At school, Anya is greeted by Becky Blackbell, daughter of the CEO of Blackbell Heavy Industries, a major military manufacturer. Anya is surprised by how loaded she is, so Becky offers her rides to and from school. Soon enough, they bump into Desmond and his crew. Remembering that the fate of the world lies on her shoulders, Anya tries to apologize but is quickly dragged off by Becky, who states that stupidity might be contagious. Seeing this, a spying Twilight gets supremely mad as he starts to think that she's been hired by an opposing organization to sabotage them, but he quickly backtracks, stating that it's very unlikely. At class, and especially after reading everyone's minds, Anya gets anxious as apparently everyone thinks she's a violent monster. Seeing her friend worried, Becky assures her that she will stay by her side no matter what. Some context is needed here, especially for new viewers. The reason Becky's acting this way is that she thinks that Anya punched Desmond for her sake, but in reality she did so because he started annoying her. Desmond then states to himself that no one has ever disrespected him like that before, not even his big brother. Sensing his gaze on her, Anya turns around, but he quickly looks away. At the end of class, Anya falls asleep. Seeing this, the teacher states that if she punched Desmond and fell asleep on her second day in school, then she must be a delinquent. After waking up, Anya rushes to find Desmond while mumbling about world peace again. Worried about her friend, Becky reassures her that she doesn't need to apologize as she has her by her side. This only seemed to piss Twilight off even more. He disguised himself as a janitor, but thanks to her powers, Anya managed to spot him. Twilight then tries numerous ways to get her to apologize, which all end in failure. At lunch, Anya tried to apologize, but Becky stopped her yet again. Seeing this, Twilight gets pissed, which results in taking her out of the equation by calling to the student hall from an intercom. This in turn gave Anya the perfect opportunity to confront Desmond and deliver a heartfelt, tearful apology. Seeing her sob, Desmond becomes tongue-tied and blushes as he realizes that she really means it. Furthermore, he reflects on how he catches her randomly looking at him as if she's staring into his soul. Confused by his newfound feelings, Desmond rejects her apologies and runs out of the cafeteria. Seeing this, Twilight loses faith in humanity again. So in short, this little dude fell in love with the girl who sucker punched him and put him in his place. Oh damn, he's going to be into some weird stuff when he grows up. Oh. Anyways, back home, Twilight pressures Anya to study, as it's their last bet at getting close to Desmond's father, but Anya resists this a bit. And not wanting to study, she tries to read Twilight's mind to get answers, but she's overwhelmed by his mind as he's thinking of thousands of ways to achieve his mission. She then calls for her mommy to help her, but she quickly finds out that she's basically an airhead and all she thinks about is killing. Frustrated, Anya storms off to her room. Twilight tries to chase after her, but York convinces him otherwise just before backtracking and apologizing, as she thinks she's not part of the family. Loid assures her that her opinion does matter to him and that Anya thinks of her as a mother. Later that day, Loid tries to apologize to Anya, but he finds her passed out at her desk, surrounded by books, revealing that she fell asleep while studying. Twilight then takes this moment to reflect on how to be a better father to Anya. The next day, Twilight meets up with the head agent, who questions him about the status of the mission and whether Anya is up for the task. Twilight struggles to lie, and he reassures her that she can pull it official. She then informs him that the Ostania secret police have been making a lot of noise recently and he should be on his guard. Later that day at your workplace, one of the finance guys gets arrested by the secret police for supposedly selling information to Westalis. You'll then state to her friends that this is so scary and that she's thankful that she got married, otherwise she might have been suspected. One of your co-workers then informed her that she had met with her younger brother, informed him of her recent marriage, and further stated that he would be visiting her tonight. Hearing this, York freaked out as she hadn't told him herself and hadn't anticipated this. At the secret police headquarters, it is then revealed that your younger brother, named Yuri, is an upcoming Imperial officer prodigy as he effortlessly extracts information from their recent subject. And the sole reason he became an Imperial officer was to protect where his sister lived. Okay. No need to sugarcoat this, you already know where this is going. He's obsessed with his sister. Okay. Well, later that day, York hurried home and informed Twilight of their dire situation, predicting something like this might happen. Twilight takes out a variety of lovey-dovey stuff made specifically for the two of them. Well, seeing the stuff made them both blush, which is why Anya starts calling them out for flirting with each other. I guess you can't get anything past her mind. Reading pauses week at night, on his way to his sister's house, Yuri starts to think of some weird stuff about her. Then he starts to question why she hadn't told them who she got married to. When he comes to the conclusion that she married a jerk who abuses her, Yuri then states to himself that if it turns out to be true, he will throw the bastard in a cell for the rest of his life, knocking on the door. Twilight is alarmed by his demeanor, but he has pushed through this thought for now. After entering, Yuri proceeds to give Twilight the cold shoulder. He then asks his sister why she didn't tell him about her marriage. Flashbacks showed that York convinced Twilight to let her handle her brother, as she knew him like the back of her hand. Back in reality, York tells him that she simply forgot. This seemed to shock Twilight, as nobody in their right mind would believe this. But he's further shocked to see that he actually believed her. Twilight then presents Yuri with a variety of foods that he likes, but he still keeps on giving an attitude. Yuri then asks them both how they met. Twilight then proceeded to compliment the hell out of York to the point where she had to remind herself that they are in a fake relationship. Yuri then throws a barrage of questions at them in the hope of getting them to slip up. Twilight remarks on how this feels a lot more like an interrogation. And after a short conversation, Twilight comes to a shocking realization while they are talking about wine. Their whole conversation is scripted from the Book of Deception only issued to Special Ostania forces. But suddenly, as he tries to take a knife, his hand and yours touch, and they flinch in embarrassment. A drunk Yuri picks up on this and demands that they kiss on the spot to prove that they are really married.
Don't want to.
Yeah, but gotta keep appearances too, you know? Let's just do it.
You gotta kiss her right here and now.
Wait, doing this? Calm down, Yor. Hold of yourself! Certainly shall in just 1 second! There's no way I can do this sober.
Oh, it's fine.
Are you two gonna do this or not? I want you to prove that you're really a married couple!
Here I come.
Wait a second!
Having been in numerous fake relationships, Twilight accepts and tries to kiss York. She gets super embarrassed, so in order to do so, she downs the whole bottle of wine. Then she proceeded to move in for a kiss. Flashbacks show that while they were younger, York would always provide for, take care of, and encourage Yuri in his studies, to the point where he asked her to marry him. When he grows up, back in reality, Yuri regrets asking them to kiss and tries to stop them, but a drunken York gets super embarrassed yet again and accidentally slaps Yuri, sending him flying through the air. Yuri stands up and confesses that he can't stand to look at his sister kissing another man, and for now her lips are all his. This earned him another slap, gravely injuring him. York then tries to help her brother up, but they almost fall because they are too drunk. Twilight catches them both and compliments them on how strong their bond is. He then invites Yuri to help them provide the best possible life for York. Hearing this, he gets mad and embarrassingly leaves. The next day, Anya wakes up, and after reading Twilight's mind, she finds out that her uncle is in the secret police and that she had missed his visit as she fell asleep. Being the espionage enthusiast that she is, she gets very upset. Twilight then starts overthinking a possible connection between York and her brother, stating that they might be plotting to bring him down and that failure means death not only for him but to tens of thousands of innocent people. Having read his mind, Anya tries to reassure him but backtracks by saying that the food is terrible, causing York to get sad as she's the one who cooked it. It's also told that the reason she doesn't reveal her powers to them is that she has been adopted numerous times, with Loid as her 5th adoptive father, and she fears that she will get sent back to the orphanage. York then starts having some doubts about being a good wife and mom, especially after Anya's comment and how she almost flopped yesterday, and how Twilight must think she's a nuisance. Under the excuse of reassuring himself, Twilight put the listening device on your collar. And just before everyone heads out, Anya tells the both of them to get along, surprising them as if she can read minds. At your workplace, Twilight spends the whole day spying on her, but he quickly comes to the realization that he might be on the wrong foot here, especially after she asks her co-workers for advice on how to be a good wife and mom. Being that they are all jealous of her, they simply tell her to just break up. Twilight, who's still skeptical, decides to put her through one more test as he and Scruffy Guy, his assistant, disguise themselves as secret police agents and confront York, all in hopes of getting her to confess her ties to her brother. But this seemed to backfire, especially after Scruffy started blackmailing her, stating that all her family and loved ones would be killed. This causes her to fight back, stating that her family and her brother are all upstanding members of society, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to protect them. At last, disappointed in himself, Twilight later meets York on the way home and advises her to stay true to herself without fretting about her wife. Facade, a relieved York, then expresses her happiness and appreciation for being Loid's partner just before they go buy a cake and go home to celebrate their one-year anniversary. Okay, that's all for this episode. If you would like more, drop down below and hit the like button. It really helps us out. But in the meantime, check out our other videos on screen.